What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Tuesday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt. And I told you we'd have some bad luck. That was a bummer last night. So Jordan Addison got the case of the drops. If he catches 2 of the 3 balls he dropped, we would have had a winning day. Instead, the prop bets killed the day. We got the teaser. Teaser came in easily. We got the under 54 was simple, and the Rams won the game outright. Game was never in doubt. Rams ran away with the game, winning outright. But Jordan Addison had 3 drops. He wound up with 3 catches. Should have had 6. And then Justin Jefferson was never really a factor. Sam Darnold cost himself millions and millions of dollars last night with his poor play. 1 and 2 on the day, down 0.18 units. So really a paper cut of a day for Monday. So nothing we can't overcome, obviously, but kind of a bummer just to, stop the hot streak in football. We ended up the most historic 5-day stretch, 13-4. That's pretty damn good. I'll take 13-4 every time here for us, and it puts us into a good spot here, up multiple units here in the month of January as we roll here. Now, full disclosure, I have gotten off to a horrible start in college basketball, and I mean a horrible start. I am 2-8. 2-8. I'm down over 6 units in college basketball, and when you're up over 7 units for approaching 8 units for the month of January, I mean, if we just went flat, if we just went flat on college basketball and not losing 6 units, we would be way up on the year. So this has been one of the more shocking starts for me. College basketball, I mean, this is a sport I normally do pretty well in. And so you got to figure that I'm going to, water will find its level type of thing, that I'm due to get back on track here in college basketball. Hockey's been bad for me so far. I'm 2-1 in hockey, I guess. So I'm up by 1 unit. So I'm up in hockey. 2-1 so far in hockey. But down 6.85 units. We're 2-8. It's 20%. It's brutal. Brutal so far in college basketball. But college football, we're 7-2 in college football, up nearly 5 units. We're 8-2, and I'm now 8-4. We were 8-2. We're now 8-4 for NFL props. But we get the teaser. We're 7-2 now. On the NFL, we're up 4.8 units on the NFL. We lost a unit there. So we're up about a little over 2 units in NFL prop betting. College football, as I said, or NBA, we're 2-1 in the NBA. I mean, like NHL, we're up. So we're profitable in hockey, basketball, college football, NFL props, and NFL football. Not in college basketball. So what am I doing today? I'm going all college basketball. Why? Well, I'm trying to make a dent in that record. There are a couple of really big games here today on a Tuesday, and I can't be 2-8. I mean, come on. If I'm hot, let's see if I can ride it, okay? If I've got the hot streak going, let's see what I can do with this. Before we get to the college basketball plays, just a real quick thing on the Rams and their performance last night. For everything they're going through in the wildfires and everything that's happening to those families and the people who have been affected, if you are one of them, it was crazy. So my girlfriend was at a dinner last night, and she said she's dating me and talking about what her boyfriend does and blah, blah, blah. And one of the people at the dinner goes, "Oh yeah, I watched that podcast." Like, wait, what? So you never know. So if any of you guys are in California who are dealing with wildfire issues, dealing with anything that we can do to help you, and I mean anything, okay, reach out to me on the Discord channel at Sports Talk Matt. Reach out to me on X Twitter at Sports Talk Matt. Just get in touch with me and let us help you in some form or fashion. Let us connect you with other Daily Juice audience members or BettingPros people, or let us help you, okay? If you watch this podcast and you're going through it, if you listen to this podcast, you shouldn't be gambling, obviously, right? Don't be betting. But if you need a sense of normalcy, let us help you and tell us what you need. Water, clothes, money. What do you need? What can we do to help you get through this? Because I can imagine what you guys are going through. And the Patriots are out. If the Rams make a run, I'm all in. I'm all in on McVay. I'm all in on Stafford. His 4 little girls were in the hospital this week with an illness. I'm all in on that team, okay? They're going to the Eagles. They're big dogs, 6-point dogs on the road to Philadelphia. It's going to be really hard for them to go across the country. They don't even know if they can practice at their facility to get ready for the biggest game of the year in the divisional round at the Eagles. I'm cheering for the Rams. Put me on that Ram bandwagon. I love what they're doing. So we're thinking about you guys. It sucks. Hurricane force winds. A couple of those fires are really going to get whipped up, and it's awful. I don't care who's to blame. I don't care why it happened or who's going to be held accountable. That's for another day. We'll worry about that down the road. First and foremost, get through this and get people to safety because they're losing everything. So whatever we can do at BettingPros, whatever we can do with the Daily Juice, please let me know, and we'll try our hardest to get you whatever help you may need out in Southern California right now with those wildfires that are just so horrific and sad to see. But props to the Rams. What a performance. What a victory for the Rams. And again, those pesky Lions. We talked about it yesterday. Teams that face the Lions, my gosh, it was a repeat. Same thing happened in back-to-back situations. They lost to the Lions. They got ruined by the Rams. This time was in the playoffs, unfortunately, for Sam Darnold and the Vikings. All right, college basketball. Let's start talking a little bit about the Creighton Blue Jays up against Providence. Fox Sports 1's got this game at 8:30 Eastern time. You might go, Matt, I don't care about this game. Okay, fine. But the number jumped off the screen to me when I saw 9. I went, wait, 9. The Blue Jays in Providence, they play tight games all the time. They play overtime games all the time. Now, the overtime games happen at Providence. This game's in Omaha. But the last 2 years in Providence, the Friars and the Blue Jays have played to overtime. If you look at the average margin of victory, in Creighton's first 11 years in the Big East, they've played 26 times against Providence. The average margin of victory is 9.7 points. In each of the past 5 meetings, it's been decided by single digits. 8 of the last 10 in Omaha have been decided by 9 points or less. So what did the books put the number at? 9. Providence plus 9. Look, KenPom has this as an 8-point win for the Creighton Blue Jays. I think the Jays will win, but I think Providence is going to be in the game here. Providence is a pretty good 3-point shooting team. They're a pretty good 2-point shooting team. They're not great at the foul line, which is never great when it comes to teams trying to cover big numbers. But, the Jays just haven't been good on offense. It's... they're 55th in efficiency. That's unreal for a Greg McDermott coach team. They're 44th in effective field goal percentage. And then the craziest of stats, the Blue Jays are 136th in 3-point shooting. That's what the Jays do. Now, it's Ryan Kalkbrenner. They got a legitimate center. They have a top, an all Big East first-team type player, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year in the Big East in Ryan Kalkbrenner. But he can't do everything. That's why they're 12th in 2-point percentage, because Kalkbrenner is impossible to guard. But, Providence has got enough size, not a ton, but they got enough size to at least body up Ryan Kalkbrenner, and he isn't like that. You can push him around. And after that, if the Jays don't hit threes, they're in trouble. Like, straight up in trouble. The Jays have already lost at home this year to Nebraska. They've lost on the road to Alabama, on the road to Georgetown, on the road to Marquette. They beat Villanova by 7. They covered that game. They beat St. John's by 1. They were a home dog in that one. That was a mistake. But now, and then they come back and beat Butler, laying 2.5. They won by 4. But now they're laying 9. The Jays are laying 9. That's too many points. That's too heavy. Give me Providence to keep this game close. Providence plus 9 for 1.1 units on the road at Omaha tonight. Fox Sports 1's got that game. Bet number 2. Let's talk about Alabama and their game at home against Mississippi. Ole Miss. Another big number. Another number that I'm kind of going, okay, wait a minute, 10.5. That's a big number. Ole Miss on the road this year has been a problem. They're 6-1 ATS on the road. In the SEC, they are 3-0 against the number. Alabama, however, is equally 3-0 against the number. Bama has won and covered 5 straight games. They have won 8 straight overall, but they're 4-3 at home. They just come off of a road trip in which they beat and covered against South Carolina, and they beat and covered against Texas A&M. They beat Oklahoma by 28 at home, and South Dakota State by 23, and Kent State by 27. They beat the Creighton Blue Jays by 8 as 11.5-point favorites back on the 14th of December. So you have an Alabama team that's really good, but Ole Miss on the road, they were catching 3.5 points against Arkansas. They won outright by 7. They were catching 1.5 against Memphis. They lost by 17. But on a neutral against Southern Miss, they laid 23. They won by 31. Against Louisville, they caught 3.5 points, and they won by 23. Neutral against Purdue, they were catching 3. They lost by 2. On a neutral against BYU, they were catching 2.5. They won by 11. Ole Miss has been a dog 3 times this year in which they've won the game outright. Outright. Offensively, this is a good basketball team for Ole Miss. They're 31st in offensive efficiency. They're 94th in effective field goal percentage. They do not turn the basketball over. They're 78th in three-point shooting. They're 124th in two-point percentage. Alabama's defense has been pretty good. 38th in efficiency, 26th in effective field goal percentage. But Ole Miss is right there with them. Ole Miss is an under machine. This team, you want to bet the under 164? I don't mind that either. On the road, they're 4-3 to the over, which is kind of surprising because you got to go back all the way to November to find a game, to find back-to-back overs for Ole Miss. Since the 3rd of December, only one game has gone over for Ole Miss. That was on the road at Memphis, and they lost 87-70. Over by 5.5 points. It was 51.5. Every other game that they have played since then has gone under. In the SEC, Georgia, Arkansas, LSU, we are under in all 3 games in the SEC. You like the under in the game? Don't mind it. I'm just a little bit concerned about Alabama and the fact that Bama could try to shoot a bunch of threes tonight. Alabama has not been a good three-point shooting team, but eventually they will shoot more because Nate Oates, I think, wants to shoot threes. They're 228th in three-point percentage. They are 3rd in two-point percentage. But Ole Miss defensively, they're 21st in efficiency defensively, 46th in effective field goal percentage. They're 26th in three-point defense. So Bama's not a good three-point shooting team, and Ole Miss is great at stopping the three. They're 118th in two-point percentage. That's probably going to be the difference in the game, to be quite honest. I think Bama wins the game. ESPNU's got this at 7 p.m. Eastern time, but I think Ole Miss keeps this close. I think Ole Miss has got a real shot here to make this into a ball game. It's a 9-point win, according to KenPom, for Alabama. I'll take the points here. Too many points. Give me 10.5. Ole Miss plus 10.5. Providence plus 9 here. Road teams catching big numbers in college basketball midweek. Give me the dog. I do like one favorite, however, and that's Illinois. Illinois is back on the road after a 2-game homestand in which they beat Penn State badly, 91-52, only to turn around and lose to USC, 82-72. So you know this is going to be an angry bunch when they go on the road to Indiana. The last 2 road games, Oregon, they won 109-77, and Washington 81-77. KenPom has this as a 4-point win for the Illini. What's the number? Well, as luck would have it, the number is 3.5, as you would expect here. Indiana at home this year is 7-4 ATS. Pretty good. Illinois is 2-4 ATS on the road. However, I just mentioned it, the road wins at Oregon and at Washington. Really impressive to go and get both those wins in hostile environments on the road. They killed Penn State, and they got a little full of themselves, and then they went out and got crushed, lost by 10 to USC. I expect a big bounce-back spot. Indiana, in their last game, went on the road to Iowa and lost by 25. They got killed. In Big Ten play, Indiana is 4-2 ATS. They beat and covered USC. They beat and covered against Penn State as 7.5-point dogs, by the way. They won by 6. Against Rutgers, they laid 8 at home and won by 10. But against Nebraska on the road, they were catching 4. They lost by 17. At home against Minnesota, they laid 9.5, and they won by 15. Illinois is a road favorite. Not easy to go on the road and win. However, I really think this Illinois team is good. I think they're coming into form, and I think the USC game is a perfect time to jump in. Number probably should be a little bit higher than this. Should be probably higher than 3.5. I know you might want to money line's minus 165. It's a little expensive to lay the money line. I don't hate it to lay money line here on Illinois, but I'll hold my nose and lay the 3.5 with Illinois minus 3.5 on the road at Indiana. Okay. 3 bets in college basketball for us here today. Again, I'm 2-8 in college basketball. Fade away if you want. I got to get rolling here in the college hoops era. Remember, every Thursday, Terrell Furman and I have got you at 5:30 Eastern time on the BettingPros YouTube channel for college basketball live talk. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, breaking down the games. Big games, big days. We're going Ole Miss plus 10.5 for 1.1 units. Illinois minus 3.5 on the road at Indiana. We're taking all 3 road teams today. Ooh. Illinois minus 3.5 and Providence plus 9 on the road at the Creighton Blue Jays here, all for 1.1 units. My name's Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt every morning, wherever you get your podcasts. It's the Daily Juice.